In today's episode, we talk about language learning, the carnivore diet, and a host of other diets, along with fitness and exercise. If you guys are interested in this type of content and the conversation that my friend and I had, I highly recommend you subscribe to the channel, and you can always check out his social links down below as well. I hope you guys enjoy this episode.
Hey,
Yeah, nice. Hello.
hey, long time no see, man. Looking good.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I feel like it's been a couple of weeks now. Just been busy doing tons of other things. Have a feeling I've been seeing all the work that you've been doing too, which has been awesome, man. Like all that After Effects and Premiere stuff. I'm like, you've got a talent for it, man. You really do.
Helen, no, I'm just doing tutorials. That's
Yeah.
all.
Hey, I mean, the tutorials are paying off, right? Like, I mean, even if it is just tutorial, you're using your own like unique little twist to it. It seems like so.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah. I'm not doing exactly the same thing. I see the tutorial and I think like, well, how can I apply this to stuff I have or stuff I want to make? So yeah.
And what were you wanting to talk about too? Because I think you said you had some things that you were wanting to tell me because you've been doing a lot from what I've been able to see so far.
Yeah. How's the lightning?
The lighting?
Is the lightning? Yeah, is the lightning good?
Yeah, I think it looks good on looks good for me. It looks good for you. Like
Yeah, I have my professional studio light here in front of me. I turned off all the other light, so I only got the daylight and not the wishy-washy light. Yeah, well, what was the question?
I was just curious as to because like you said you've been doing quite a few things lately and you just started a new channel or something like that if I'm remembering correctly. So,
I did,
like
I did, I did.
figured you had some things that you wanted to kind of tell me.
Well, it's going great with my main channel, my German channel. So it's actually I don't want to talk about it, but I will tell you.
You don't have to if you don't want
Um,
to.
Yeah, but I'm excited. I'm super excited because my idea was I'm going to make a video in English, like when I do my review,
Mhm.
for you guys, for you in the creator channel or for in futures channel, so I can get some feedback. And well, yeah, I'm working on that. So yesterday I recorded my first video in English, and it was hilarious. I have never. It's when you. I'm not used to speak in English as much as I used to be, or maybe I do a lot of more listening than speaking, and my speaking is like pretty rusty. And when you never see yourself speaking and you record yourself, and then you afterwards you see yourself speaking, it's just I took so many clips while I was editing the trash out, and I'm gonna make a video on that as well. But yeah, I'm going to upload. I will start an English channel where I upload tech videos in English, and then I will see how it goes. I mean, it's English, so it should be like 10 times more views than on my German channel, right? So let's see how this is going. And yeah, but about Premiere Pro and After Effects, I have one sad news for you. I canceled before the 14 days, and so I don't use it anymore because the idea is like I don't want to spend like $35 or something each month before I make any money, I can get away some here. Future showed me like what is it? It's an app, GIMP is it called? It's like Photoshop, and it's for free, but you get like 90% of the same features. So I haven't checked it out yet, but like for free for 90% of all you need. So I only need to remove background and add some text and something. So that's enough for me. And at the moment I use Canvas for 4 more days. Then my abo is gone, and my what do you call it? My subscription. So I will have to look into that. And yeah, but actually if I have like no cost at all. Like I can edit my videos on CapCut. That's enough. If I can make my thumbnails and pictures in GIMP, then it's enough. It's like zero cost each month. So yeah, it's all profit I make. And yeah, I mean, I don't make money yet, so it's all profit. If someone clicks my link and I get some affiliates, you know, some money over there.
You have a
But
couple
yeah.
of those right now, then. It sounds like a
What do you
couple.
mean?
You have a couple affiliate links right now, then.
I actually, Amazon just approved me as their into their partner program. So I'm officially a partner of Amazon now. So I also made already. Let me check the numbers. On Black Friday, someone bought the first time a phone. I showed them. I reviewed. So I gained like €7 of that. Oh, wow. And here, let me see. Someone, yeah, I earned like also in total. Amazon made like €500 through my links, and I earned €14 already.
It's gotta be a good feeling, like, because
Yeah,
is that the
this
first?
is just the last 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
And
So it's crazy.
is that the first time you've ever made money, like online as well, like through like affiliate links or anything like that?
Yes. When I first started with YouTube, my channel, I had a different name and wanted to get into Amazon's affiliate program, but then afterwards I changed my channel name. So then you have 3 months to make 3 sales. And because I changed my name, they said, no, we cannot approve you because it's not the name same you used when you blah, 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 you know? So, and I was like, no, now I have to change all the links in my description and everything I have to renew. And yeah, well, and then shortly afterwards, I made like another account. So like 2 weeks or 3 weeks later, because I couldn't log in. So, and this account actually took off after the other one expired. And then, of course, 3 weeks later, I suddenly got the email, oh, yeah, you approved. And I'm like, whoa, nice. Cool. So, yeah. Yeah, but the thing is, with Amazon, when you make money through affiliate links, you have to earn like $25 before you can
Cash out.
get it.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, it's nice.
So it's like the channel that you do too. Like it's better. Like I feel like your channel is very unique to having affiliate links because it's like you're reviewing the product anyways, and it's like, hey, if you want to check it out and get it for yourself, like links down in the description type of thing. And I feel like that's just it's a smart move to do because you're already having the product, and then somebody else is like, okay, might as well buy it through you than through somebody else. So I think that's
Yes.
awesome to hear that you were able to get approved already, man. Like I've tried affiliate links in my past, and like I was never able to make a sale when I was doing it, and it was probably because I wasn't buying the products myself and reviewing them. So like being able to hear that you've made €14 so far.
Well,
is
I wouldn't
awesome.
say that you have to review the product. I mean, depending on what type of content you're doing, right? Before I focused on tech, I made like 2 videos about health, and I linked some products about like what you can do like to gain weight, or I linked some whey protein or protein shake or something like that, you know, so to help the people. I mean, it's depending on what viewer is coming to you and what could the viewer need, you know, what you can supply. So most of my sales are probably of like smartphone cases, you know. Sometimes I say, yeah, well, the phone feels pretty good in the hand, but also, or other times it feels like it's pretty slippery. So I would suggest that you buy a case or something. And most of the time, people buy a case, and that like $10, and I gain like 30 cents of the price of it, So and yeah, it's cool.
Like 30 cents is 30 cents. I'd take 30 cents like for not having to do much
Bro,
of anything
bro,
because then, like,
over time,
exactly
yeah, it's
starts to add up.
accumulator, what it's called. Yeah.
'Cause I've heard like businesses are made off of pennies, nickels, dimes, and quarters type of thing. So it's like as if you can just get it like a little bit in, little bit in, little bit in, because then all of a sudden like you have what, let's say 100,000 people buying one phone case or something like that. 30 cents off of 100,000 it's $3,000 ish or so. Like I mean that's pretty good.
Something like that,
Yeah. Like I'd take that any day. And that, so like because your channel right now, like you were saying that you were having fun with like doing it in English as well too. Like how was that for you?
No. The fun is me watching how to see I cannot speak in English. Yeah.
Dude, it's funny though because like I feel like you speak in English so well. Like, and we were talking about that last time too. How like you had the German channel and then the English channel, and you're like you always think in English anyways. So it's like I don't get how you're saying you can't speak in English.
Yeah, but the thing is, I know you're no language learner, but you need to imagine if you spend all day listening, consuming the language you're living, I say, or loving, or whatever, which is English in my case. So I consume everything in English, and I listen all day to podcasts and stuff and videos. So I know like every word written, how it's pronounced in my head. Yeah. But speaking is a different one. If you don't know how to speak, let me open some script here from yesterday. So I will I will give you some a showcase of pronouncing some. What was a good one? Average. The average consumption of blah blah blah. And I was like, I couldn't pronounce the word right. Average. And then I think to play around with the words, and then I sound like a French person. Average consumption, and I was making fun of myself, and I had so much fun. I just, oh man. So yeah, but if you have like, I don't know, it's not, of course it's easier if you have the choice between 6 GB RAM, and I mean if you can read, it's easier than when you have to speak into the camera and you have to speak slur and stuff like that. So yeah, it's practice, right? Practice make better.
Exactly. And that's why I like us doing this right now. That's why I like this because it feels more natural. I think we were talking about that last time too when we chatted, where it's just like talking directly to the camera is kind of a little awkward, and it takes practice to be able to get up to that point. And then it's also just like, well, I'd rather have fun and laugh at myself while I'm making these videos than be serious all the time, because it's like if I can't laugh at myself, then how am I supposed to laugh at like anything else type of thing? So I enjoy that aspect of it. Cause yeah, dude, you learning the English and the languages is something that like we talked about the last time. I can't do it personally. Like you clearly have a skill and an act for it. So like it's really
no. I just spent no. The thing is, it's all about immersion. It's all about immersion. So I learned English, or I acquired the language within 2 years. Yeah, and in those 2 years, I don't really spoke at all. I only listened. I maybe spoke like few sentences to someone in the game chat, or when someone was in my party chat, but most of the time I only were listening, and that like 24/7 into to native speakers mostly. So that's because and learning was like 5% of it. I learned like so, and the rest was just listening. Then you start at some point you start texting, and you see the written language and stuff, and it gets, what is the term, assimilated. You just get it into your system and it becomes natural. There's a linguist and a language forscher and he said the result of listening is speaking. This is also how human kids start speaking. You know, they listen, and then 2 years, 3 years later, they just start babbling, reading, talking, and it makes sense. And then later, when you go to school at 6, 7, you learn the rules about the language, and then you get even better at speaking at some point, right? So yeah, but it's pretty easy. And I'm doing kind of a challenge at the moment. So I told you I have a hate-love relationship with Spanish, right? Somehow, because I failed to learn this language, and 2018 was it? Yeah, until 2020. This was the time when I was learning Spanish, and then I said no. I'm done. Fuck it. This language is fucking annoying. I hate it because I didn't listen. I only listened to music, and it fucked up my listening. And every time I listened to something in Spanish, I was like, oh, I can't understand anything. So fucking annoying. I can read everything. I can understand much, but not too much. But listening was always a pain and got me pretty annoyed. So, and yes, now I thought, well, I have to come back. 3 years later, I have to come back, and now I usually don't watch Netflix and stuff. You know, it's a waste of time for me, I think. And yeah, I said to myself, well, you're doing full immersion now. You're getting a Netflix. You see that you get a audiobook in Spanish for short stories, audiobook, book itself, so I can read the text and can hear the words spoken. Yeah. So and I listened a lot to Spanish content the last days, like pretty a lot of it, and it's exhausting. I can tell you. But I'm getting better and better. My listening gets better. I'm also doing like flashcards. I have a pre-made deck I bought back then with the 1000 comments word. So it was professional recorded as well. So I see the word, I have a sentence, and a native speaker is reading the sentence and also the words. You know. So I do like 40 new cards every day. So I should be done in like, what is today is still in like end of the year, maybe 2 weeks or something. I should be done with that. And when I'm watching Netflix, I also only watch in Spanish with subtitle, and occasionally I take some sentences out of Netflix and do add them to my cards. And then I use not AI, text to speech, and add the audio on top of that. So I heard every time I see the word. So, and well, let's see how it goes. So yeah, I give it a try, and can't be wrong. So yeah, that's what's going on at the moment. What else? Not sure.
Dude, that's all good. That's impressive, man. Because I was trying to figure out like how you pick up on like what the word means, like when say you listen to it all the time. Like, is it just like, because that's always been like I've heard immersion for learning languages, but it's just like how does it, like, are you able to identify like, okay, this is what they're saying and this is how I can start speaking this as well myself? Is it where the flashcards come in, or is it just like through the repetitive nature of it?
Okay, as I said, I learned like 2 years before, like 2 years. I spent like 2 years, and I not just learning. I love. I am a fucking passionate language learner by somewhere in me, and so I already acquired some level where I had the words like burdened within me. You know, so now it's just I need to relearn or rediscover the words, and many words you know. What was the text and the quote? we learn a language only when we understand it. And if you hear something by context or see it by context, if I say here, this is if I'm holding a ball, yeah. If I say that's a red ball, yeah, and you don't know the word ball, but you know the rest of the words, then you know, oh, okay, ball means the round thing, the person is holding. So you know if you get it out of context. The same is by reading. If I read something like what was it? Yeah, I don't have an example now, but you get the idea, right?
Yeah. I get.
So also when I so it's basically yeah I have the vocab already, some of it I know them from back then, and now it's just rediscovering the language, loving to enjoy the language and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess context works. I've always wanted to learn Japanese. I kind of picked up a little bit of Spanish as well. When I was driving around with one of my buddies that did construction work, and like I'd always kind of listen to him when he was talking to his his subcontractors, and I'd try to pick up on certain things and be like, "Hey, what did I say?" And I'm like, "I think you said this." He's like, "Yeah, that's pretty close." And I was using the context that you were talking about, like being able to see like, okay, these were the things that kind of made sense. I
He
never got
was
to the point
Spanish
to where I
or
could.
Japanese?
So Spanish was what he was doing. Japanese is just something that I've wanted to learn because I watch like a decent amount of like anime is something that I watch at least once a week type of thing. So I was like, if I could understand that, but like with all the years that I've watched, you think that I would pick up something, but like I got nothing around that. So it's yeah,
Yeah, but Spanish is also Spanish. I mean, Spanish come from Latin and English is also from Latin, right? So you have like 40% is from Spanish in English language. So it's pretty related. Some words are fortfront, are they called, you know?
hmm
But otherwise it's easy
yeah.
actually.
And I kind of feel like
Actually,
it's the
yeah.
same thing
I
with
mean,
like
pronunciation can be hard for English speaker Spanish, right? Yeah.
yeah, it's the whole masculine and feminine. That's the part that's always confused me. I'm like, I just want to be able to just like you know just like how in English is. It's just like there's no masculine, there's no feminine. It's just like
Yeah, English is pretty easy of that because of that. But if you look intonation or stuff, like you guys speak like that, like waves, like the words how you pronounce them and that. And in Japanese or something in Chinese, someone said they have always like it's consistent. Some teacher pointed out at one point, and the student said like, yeah, and if you speak in English, it's like woo, such a wave, you know. So it's pretty confusing for them. But yeah, I mean, I mean, Spanish is easier than German. Yeah, German. I mean, we have three genders. Spanish only has two. You guys have one.
because German has masculine, feminine, and then neutral. Is that right?
Neutral or something. I don't know what do you call it.
Can't
I
remember.
cannot even speak my own language. Also,
I mean, your tech review channel of you speaking in German is good. Like, I mean, that's you speaking your own language. I would say.
yeah, the recording is sometimes pretty hilarious too because I cannot speak in my own language.
Dude, I can't speak in English half the time either. Like, I'll
Yes,
mess up
see?
words from time to time. So, I think it's just natural for us, you know. Because yeah, dude,
Yeah,
that's cool. So, you've been busy then. It sounds like super busy.
yeah, few days. But as I told you before, like I killed myself the last week doing too much fitness and had to recover quite a lot. Yeah.
What were you all doing? Because I know last time you said you had like a bum ankle or something like that, and like your wrist and everything like that. So like, you're able to find exercises that were able to work for you for your workouts then last week.
Yeah, I mean, I have a pole bar in my kitchen, so I can use that. And if I don't do too much, it's okay for my wrist, so no worries. Then I have a rowing machine in my bedroom. I can use that. I use that maybe once or twice a month. I'm switching between the exercise. Sometimes I do that, sometimes I do that. Um, and then I also have what do you call it? Like a wobble board.
Yeah, like
Where
is
you
it a
where you
balance board or
stand
something like that?
where you stand on you have your to balance, right?
Yeah.
Which is good for the skeleton muscular, or what do you call it?
Spine, lower back,
Yeah, for overall for
ability.
posture,
Yeah.
Yeah, for legs, for the whole upper body, for bit up here,
I don't know what
downwards.
I don't know what that would be called. Lower body, torso, like core, like just like the overall
Skeleton, I don't know.
skeletal muscle. The inner
Yeah,
skeletal
and
joints, maybe something like that. I don't know.
I don't know, but yeah, and what did I do last week? On Monday, let me think. On Monday, I went out and was buying grocery, and I bought so much, so like twice the amount as usually. So I had to carry a lot of weight, like 13 kilo or something. So and then I live in the third floor on third floor. Um, Well, and then afternoon and noon and afternoon, I thought, well, uh, isn't that I did too much today? But let me go on my wobble board and I do this. Yeah, nice, I did it. Next day was okay. I thought like, oh, I feel pretty good. Well, okay, then let's do some pull-ups and on noon and afternoon, I also did the wobble board again. And the next day, it hit me so hard. And the other day, man, I couldn't walk at all.
I love that feeling, man.
Yeah.
Like that's one of the feelings that like I just don't get to feel as much as I once did. Like there's still some times where like my legs will be so shot where I'm just like, okay, I can barely walk up the stairs or walk down the street, and I'm just or like sit on the toilet type of thing, and I'm like, this is terrible. But I'm also like, I love it and I want more of it. So it's just like, how do I get more of that? So it's like I got to run, I got to bike, do heavier squats or whatever it may be to help me get to that point. But like it is, I've always enjoyed that feeling. Like not everybody likes feeling that way, but for me, I'm just like I love it, man.
Yeah. Being sore is not the problem, but not having energy is the problem, which is sucks.
Well, does that come because like last time you doesn't the carnivore because like you were telling me about the carnivore diet last time too? Isn't it isn't that giving you more energy, or what do you think it was depleting you this past week?
No, this is because I did too much exercise. As I told you, I'm basically recovering of my illness still. So I was like before I started carnivore, I had like zero muscles and zero cardio and endurance and stuff. And now I'm building up and up and up, and getting better each week. So yeah, and I have never felt that great in 10 years. Like, really. So, the last 10 years, 5 years, I spent bedridden all the time, most of the time. And yeah, and noon I'm eating. At the moment, it's been 1 year and 1.5 years since I'm eating carnivore. But I had to figure out a lot of stuff along the way. And now it's about half a year or 4 5 months that I have like found the sweet spot. I know how much I can eat, how much how to increase my volume, what I can eat, yeah, and all that. And you wouldn't believe it, but I start when I before I went carnivore, my daily intake on calories was about 900 because my stomach had some serious issues and I wasn't able to eat. So I also did this OMAD, like eating once a day, because I thought, okay, well, I have to eat once. I have to eat, so I have to eat. So let me just to do the two once, and I stuff everything in me, and I ate too much, and I did that like for too long and wasn't good either. So, and then at some points, 2 years before I started carnivore, I discovered here Jordan Peterson and his daughter. on Joe Rogan, of course. And that was the first time when I heard of it, and I thought like, no, that's crazy. That can't be good. But then I saw like, okay, well, it's not just the only person. Then I discovered some other person here, this doctor, those doctor, and I got more and more into the carnivore space and interviews and like recovery stories and stuff. And then at some points I was like, well, what can I lose, right? Either I die or I feel better, right? And then I started getting better. And then at some points I was able to start exercising, and even my joints got better, and I could remove my, what do you call those
Like brace wrist wraps cast or something
for
like that.
knee or something. I had some, and so I was able to remove them on my knees. I like 6 months or 4, like now, I don't wear them. My knees are sometimes hurt still, but because then I just did too much. But there is when you do exercise, your muscle, your bone releases chemical which is called LP. No, I don't remember the term right now. But it's only when you do exercise, then does it release this chemical, which travels through your whole body, which actually repairs the bone and muscle and stuff. And it's only when you do exercise. So it's kinda paradoxically that you have to do less, but at some point you have to do something to recover your body. It's strange.
That is strange. Because yeah, I like how you said too, like
Interleukin 6 is the chemical.
interlocking 6, and I'm not familiar with that. Like when I started lifting and dieting,
IL-6 is the short term.
6, and that's when you said the bone like secretes some sort of chemical or like gives out a chemical that helps you.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how it works, but if you do exercise, then the bone or the something will release it within, and this is when healing is starting.
And it's within the bones, not the muscle itself, because something's happening with it. I don't know much about bones, so like that's why I'm like,
Yeah, me neither. Me neither. I just heard this once. Yeah, and we were up by calories. Yeah, before I started with eating carnivore. So then and that's funny too. When I was eating before, I had like 900 calories intake every day, and then I switched to, and I didn't lost or gained any weight. Yeah, so I was stable on the same level. And then when I switched to carnivore, my metabolism,
yeah.
Metabolism, yeah, got better and better and better. So when you switched to carnivore, you in your primal state, and you automatically start to burn more, which I figured out later, because at some point I was eating the same calories and I was losing weight. I was like, why? Because when you in ketosis, yeah, you're burning fat all the time, like even if you do nothing. But at the same time, your body will give you, if you do cardio or something, you will not run out of stamina. You can go. This is incredible. I was like, one day I had to go into the city, and usually before carnivore I was like, oh shit, I have to go into the city, and like 20 minutes and I'm done, I'm game over. So, and this day I walked into the city, I walked back, I don't know, I was home and I was doing some stuff around my home, and I was like, okay, stop now. You can't do this, because if I keep going, then the next days I will be such exhausted. I can't do anything then. So I stopped and slowed down, and the next days, okay, I felt pretty tired. But yeah, in the moment I was like, holy shit, why do I get so much energy? I can't explain it. That's incredible. And yeah, so but let me come back to the calorie intake. So over time, I was able to increase my volume and my calories systematically. I had a Google Chat, not Google, but Word. I noted everything down,
Yeah.
so systematically, and over time it increased, and I got from 900 calories to like 1200, 1600, 1800, and then at one point was like 2200, and now my daily intake is like 2400, but it's, I don't know, I wouldn't say it's something like that, because every time I prepare my meat, I will the excess, what is it called, the rendered fat, I ship it away, because it's not good. So, and I would say it's my daily intake is like 2200. I could eat more, but then I don't feel as well. So, but yeah, but it's good for now, and I think I actually gain weight. I'm not sure, but I mean I gain muscles a lot. So this is incredible. Even if I don't do much, I gain a lot of muscles. This is crazy. So yeah.
Dude, that's insane. Because it's like you eat meat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Like that's your whole day pretty much, right?
Yeah, I only eat meat.
I've always wanted to try that. I
And
feel like it would be interesting to give it a go. But I was always told that it was just red meat. Like that's the only type of meat that you can eat. But I think last time you were telling me like it can be chicken or
you
like-
can you are healthy. You're perfectly healthy, right? So you can actually eat what you want. The carnivore diet is not only does not meat does not it doesn't mean you only have to eat meat. Carnivore means you can eat every product which comes from an animal, like eggs, fish,
okay.
butter, even cheese and yogurt. But folks who go all in and say I only eat meat, and go then back to, let's say I add eggs and butter and stuff, they say, well, I like it because it's more variety, but I actually felt better when I only eat meat. So you see, there's a difference. And some people, like I cannot eat butter or eggs. So I would like to, but I can't. Yeah, so I just stick to one type of meat, and because it's cheapest for me, and I eat it every meal, every day, and it doesn't get bored or something. I don't know.
What meat is you like? What's your go-to meat then? Is it a steak right now?
Steak is too much. Steak's too much, and no, I'm getting simple ground meat, like 80-20,
Mm-hmm.
20% fat. Yeah.
And you don't put any spices on or anything like that? Just like cook it up and then just like
Only salt, only salt.
And you don't get tired
Crazy,
of it
right?
either, too, dude. That's impressive. Like
Yeah.
I can typically only eat the same thing for like a week, and then like I have to cook it in like a different variation. So like if I just cooked ground beef and tacos, then I'd be like I need to put it in chili. If I did it in chili, then it's like all right, let's go into like spaghetti or something like that, and I'd mix up the ground beef type of thing. But you sound like it's just same thing every single. And you've been doing this for what year? You were telling me right now, something like that.
Well, before, when I started, I was eating a lot of chicken, but chicken is not really good, and I didn't feel well as well. So yeah, but I started with chicken. Then I tried some. At the beginning, I didn't even. Now I'm eating ground beef, right? And in the beginning, I couldn't digest that properly because I made some big mistake, and I went all in carnivore, but I still had cumin seed, or what do you call it? Cumin, the word, the spice.
Oh,
Cumin.
cumin, or like
Cumin, yeah,
yeah.
cumin, yeah. I made a drink out of it because it's good for digestion, right? So every time I drank that, my digestion got better. I thought so, but which wasn't. Maybe in the beginning, but if you drink it regularly, it won't help over time. And I drank that for years, and at some point it was really hurting me. And when I switched to carnivore, I kept drinking that because I thought, well, I have to, because otherwise my stomach cannot deal with all the meat or stuff. And then I was talking to someone in a Facebook group. He said, like, well, you should cut out everything and go with water, salt, and meat and see how it goes. And I was afraid I cannot do that. And well, then at some points I had to, and that was the moment where everything changed. Then I realized, oh shit, this fucking drink was the last thing I had to remove until to get better, right? So that was crazy. And since then, it's just getting better and better. Improvement every day,
Love hearing
every
that.
week.
Because like, what were you
Yeah.
afraid of by just going over to like the meat and the salt? Like, because I feel like I'd be terrified.
No, it's
to
just
do
like
that.
it's just that well, the thing is, it's when I became sick, I remember the day still. I was eating like rice, and I made like a tomato sauce or something with onion and stuff, and I ate it. I ate a lot of it. So, and usually when you eat something, like how long does it take until you feel not full anymore, like 3-4 hours, then you feel good again, like if you, well, so, and yeah, I ate it like, what time was it, like 3 p.m. And in the evening, like 6, 7, 8 hours later, all of a sudden I felt really sick, and I was like, oh, I have to throw up or something. And this feeling was for, I had it for like the whole night, and it didn't go away. So, and this is like a feeling when something is not digest in your stomach. It's not the first time that I had that. So, and I know if you eat something and it doesn't get properly digested, this feeling will come up. And I thought, if I remove now this drink, which I always drink, then the meat I'm gonna eat will not be digested well, because I had the experience before. So, but it was because of the drink as well. So, yeah.
It's so odd how like one food will just like completely upset your stomach. It's like I can't eat certain, like I used to like pork. I try not to eat pork as much anymore just because it doesn't agree with me all that much. I just stick to ground beef and chicken just because like those are my two. Like turkey, I'll do it occasionally, like on sandwiches or ground turkey, but like the ground beef and the chicken are probably two of my favorite meals. And dude, I ate that every single day for years. Like it was chicken for lunch, ground beef for dinner, like maybe some broccoli or some like rice or something like that in there, and I did
And
that
rice,
every
yeah.
single day.
the typical fitness food, right?
Yep. Yeah, and I would have to watch other people. Well, I didn't have to. I chose to watch like other people eat. Like there's this guy Matt Stoney on YouTube, and he was a competitive eater, and I'd watch him like sculpt down his food so like I could sculpt down my food at the exact same time. Because eating chicken, like if I made it on say Sunday or Saturday, and I don't know if you meal prep all of your stuff or if you make it like fresh every single day.
I used to.
Yeah, it's better having it fresh because like when I was doing the meal prepping, Thursday, Friday would come around and I'd be like, I don't want to eat this. Like this is so bad. So like just
No, yeah, and after in the Hindus say, like, after 24 hours, yeah, in Ayurveda, you know Ayurveda, like the Hindi kitchen philosophy.
oh yeah. The Hindu philosophy.
Yeah. Like in Ayurveda, they say, like, if you after 24 hours, all the nutrients in the food are gone. So it's basically you only eat the spices. You only get the taste. You don't get anything nutritious out of it. Yeah.
That's 24 hours?
Actually, this is just a saying, what they say, like
Yeah.
after it's cooked. But actually, there are pretty a lot of tests and scientific paper and stuff. Like if you cut an onion or a piece of fruit or something, after half an hour, there's like half of the nutrition are gone. Like if you are going to buy some pre-sliced fruit salad in the supermarket, it's like, how long does it lay there? Like 24 hours plus. There's nothing nutritious in there. People buy it, and you only get the taste. So yeah.
I could see that because I never liked cutting fruit myself or vegetables, so like I would just buy like them already pre-cut. Because like there's a whole like in bodybuilding and powerlifting and just like dieting, and maybe you're aware of this too. It's just like you have to weigh your food before you cook it and then weigh your food after you cook it, and because you have to make sure that you get the right nutritional values and micronutrients out of it. And I'm just like, it was always too much for me. Like I've had friends that they've done that and they absolutely love it, but I'm just like I eat the food that's in front of me type of thing. Never been a fan of weighing it.
Yeah, I mean, cooking and rice is a good example, right? They say on the package, I think it's like they say, if you cook rice, it will gain twice the amount on volume, right? But actually, it will gain the dreifache amount. So you cannot really. I mean, if you have 100 grams of rice and you cook it, you don't need to weigh it afterward because it's 300 grams. You don't get more calories or more nutrition out of it if it's more. The 100 calories is like what you get, and it's not more or less. I mean, it's less because you're cooking it, depending on how long you cook it, how hot you cook it, and how much water you put away in the end. Like if you cook rice, I used to cook it slow. I'm used to I put the rice in, put as little water as possible in, and then put the heater complete of highest highest what do you call it, highest point, that's boiling quick, and then at the moment where it's boiling, I turn it off and leave the top. I cover it and wait like 15 minutes, and then it's done. So the water is completely gone. It's absorbed, and you don't have to
pour out the
water away.
Yeah.
So that's the way you keep the most nutritious stuff in it.
Dude, there's so much that goes into food and dieting, and it's like it's hard because like you've had to learn a lot.
I studied diet like 10 years.
Yeah, so you have a very wealth of knowledge around that because me, I'm like, I don't know. I just go, I move the weight, I eat the food that's in front of me, and you're like, there's all these other things. And I was like, oh, okay, that's great because like I think people need that. At least I do need to know these types of things. It's just like for me, I like keeping things simple.
Yeah, it can be also a hindrance at some point. If you know, well, if I eat that and that, well, I know, okay, it shouldn't go together. Like, because I get us from Ayurveda, it's like, what I maybe if you get some example, potatoes, you sometimes eat in with cream or something, right? And those are two types that shouldn't be eaten together, for example. Or you shouldn't eat like if you make a shake or something, you put some stuff like milk. Milk is a whole meal on itself. So
I shouldn't be drinking it with dinner is what you're telling me? Because I drink milk like almost every single day.
No, I don't know. I didn't know that.
And then you were also saying like you know about our Ayurvedic like you know about Ayurveda, like foods and everything like that?
Yeah, also some about the types. I don't remember the names.
Vata, Vata, Kapha.
Yeah, right, you know.
Yeah, because like each one has to have like different types of food, like to be able to intake it because
food and personality and how the mind is working and stuff like that. Yeah, I spend a lot of time looking into that, and
Did you figure out
pretty
which one you
amazing.
were by any chance? Like, you know which dosha you fall under?
Vata, is it water or what was it called?
Vata's wind, if I remember. Vita is more. I think that's Vita Bata. Vita Bata. I always forget the third one too, but Vita's like the wind, so it might be Bata.
Vita, Vata, Gita. Google.
I was like, I
Why not?
should know this. I need a producer of some sort, somebody else that can like do the googling for me.
Sure.
I have it in one of my other journals too. But types of Vita.
So you have to look into it before, yeah?
Yeah, I one of the guys that I listen to online, he's Vita Vata, Bitta, and Kapha. Yeah, he talks a lot about it too because it's just like each food, as you're probably well aware of right now, like certain people shouldn't have spicy foods because it'll make them more like aggressive and angry in certain modes, and then like other people should drink more like calm, like cool, like say like butternut squash or something like that soup, like to help it offset their gut because I feel like a lot of like clients and people that get moody that I've run into, it's probably because they aren't eating the right things. Like I just eat the right things, so like I've experimented enough with it to be able to be like, okay, I know that I have more energy if I eat like just primarily proteins. But yeah, so the Vata is space and air, Pitta is fire and water, and then Kapha is water and earth. So if you're more
Yeah,
water, then
I think it was water because I don't know, have you heard of healthygamer.gg?
yeah, that's the guy that I was talking about. Yeah, healthy gamer.
Dr. K,
Yeah, Dr.
my
K.
man. I love this guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, I used to watch every fucking interview he did back then. So yeah, I learned a lot of him. Also, I learned all the meditation and stuff from him. Most of it what I know. So yeah, pretty cool.
do you not listen to much of him
And
now?
yeah,
Then?
huh?
Do you not listen to him all that much now?
Mm, no, because he I don't know. At some point I unsubbed on YouTube, I guess, and I didn't follow it. And now I'm occasionally he's uploading some on Spotify, but those are just like 10 minutes talk, so it's not really new stuff. And it's more about, hey, why do I have ADHD? Or why I can't concentrate, or why do I feel lonely and stuff. It's just all the topics I know about quite a lot already. So yeah. Yeah. I wanted to say something more about diet again. But I lost my sort of
I
train.
got you off on a little tangent. That was my bad. It'll come back to you here in a
Yeah.
second. I know it will.
But water,
Yeah,
right?
Kapha is water. Vata is space and air. So like air,
Yeah,
like the wind.
but it's the type Dr. K describes himself like the one like, okay, I have one idea, I do this today. Well, 2 weeks later, I have this idea. Why don't I do that? And then the next day or 3 weeks, I'm like kind of like this. And then he said, well, yeah, now you have your three things, but then don't get more. Focus on those three things, right? Instead of picking up more and more and more and not doing anything. So I'm kind of this type, and I feel like this is exactly what happened just couple of days, a week ago with when I canceled After Effects and stuff. Like I got too. I also I always get too excited about stuff. Then I'm fall into it, and then 1 week, 2 weeks later, I'm like, okay,
Yep.
I need something new. And then as I now told you, language now, I haven't spent any time because I thought I hate languages now, but now I'm kind of into it and I feel like pretty energized about it. And well, let's see how long will this energy stay, right? Until I need to move on to the next thing. But for now, it's pretty good. So, and I try to keep it simple on the same wavelength, right? So that I don't get too excited or too down every time. So that helps a lot also to balance that somehow.
Yeah. And weren't you saying like there's got to be something like, because like I do the same thing where like I bounce from like thing to thing to thing, like multiple different channels for YouTube as well, because I want to try this and then I want to try this and then I want to try this and I want to try this other thing. But like there's always one constant for me. I don't know if there's ever been a constant for you where it's just like I'm happy doing this. Like it almost sounds like dieting and language like are those things, even though you stopped language for a little while, but it's almost like there is that one thing that you're always constantly doing. It's just that's probably the one thing that you don't spend that much time on because it comes so natural to you. Like for me, it's just talking and communicating with people. Like that's my one like thing that I always do every single day. And like it could be like the wind's blowing as hard as I want to in one direction, but it could be about any different topic. Like it could be around dieting, it could be around language, it could be around metaphysics, it could be around religion. But it's like I want to learn all about those different things, but it's still just me talking, like at the end of the day, or communicating and listening to somebody else with their knowledge type of thing. So I don't know if you've ever considered that. Like if you have that one thing that you're so focused on, so it's not like you're just like blowing in the wind trying to like go super hard one day and then like not so hard the next.
Well, you just said learn. Well, learning is something different. I mean, learning is something I do every day, and like I said, like diet is a part of my learning journey, whatever, since like 10 years plus. So I'm into that since then and still are. And but it's rather the things I'm doing, not that I'm consuming. Make that sense?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Because
So
yeah.
yeah, because something I do. I mean, I'm someone like, let me think. I think the only thing I achieved in my life was getting my it's degree, or when you graduate from
Yeah.
school.
Agree.
It's the only thing I achieved in my life so far. Other things I was like, okay, I do this. I stopped at some point. I do that. I stop at some point. I started doing license training for a car or something, or what do you call it?
Like
Yeah,
driver's ed or
I
something
stopped
like that.
yeah, I stopped at some point. Then I got into trainee for as a baker. After school, I had to do something, right? So my parents said, "Yeah, you have to do something." Then I did that for 3 months. I stopped at some point. Um, yeah, it's something was still going on, and every time I broke it, I quitted the stuff. So, and I feel like language learning is so the thing I just acquired the language. Like I said, I did nothing much really. I cannot say I'm such a good learner.
Yeah.
um, it's about circumstances and how you tackle it really. So it's pretty easy. And I have to say, I think if I would have to learn it on my own back then, I mean, I had some support, I guess. I had one person I met each week who was like, "Hey, what did you learn last week? Let's talk about it." And then I showed her, so here, this what was I learned, and I showed her the exercises. And because of that, I repeated the exercise it once more, but like I reinforced the exercise and the stuff I learned. And so and also she encouraged me, like when I said, "Yeah, well, I'm taking a break now, like 2, 3, 4 weeks now from learning." And she was like, "Yeah, well, now it's time again to learn, or not?" I was like, "Yeah, well, you're right. I should." And but what language the first time when I encounter English, yeah, I was like 13 or 12 years old. um I I'm I'm a former gamer. Yeah, I'm a former gamer, like my whole life. And I always had a Game Boy, like Game Boy, everything you had, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy NS, blah blah blah, and so on. And when I was 13, my first game, my first Mega Man game was in English. And I asked I asked everyone, like my parents, my sister, my grandparents, like, what does this mean? What does this mean? At some point, my grandfather was gifted me some pretty old dictionary, and I spent like hours every day. It's like readings, what do you call it? Like translating some nonsense, which was like a side quest or something in the game. And but I enjoyed this. I enjoyed the time and figuring out all the words. And I didn't learn much, but that was the first time where I encountered like foreign languages. Like so. And this was like, I don't know, but I came not to learn in school English. So I picked up on what age was I? 22, 24 when I started learning English. So yeah, pretty late, right?
And the whole set, like, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but it's like clearly that's not true because
Everyone can learn a language. I
yeah.
mean, you can even let's say there's a 80-year dude, 80 years, and he falls in love with a Japanese girl. Of course, he's gonna learn Japanese in like 3 months because he will impress his new girl and the parents, right?
So true. Love makes us do crazy things, dude. It's one of the coolest
Yeah.
emotions that like it's because it's like we have to almost break down our heart in a certain way to be able to make it stronger. Same thing like with the gym. Like we have to go out to the gym, we have to move the muscles, and we're breaking down the muscles so that they become stronger. Same thing with the heart and emotions. It's like we got to break them down and be able to build that up. Which is it's fascinating to see. And then the whole thing like around having a coach or like you doing language learning, like it's fascinating how you just have somebody to talk to. Because I was thinking about that, like how you have multiple different channels for YouTube. It's just like, well, what if like you just documented yourself learning some new skill or new trait or characteristic? I don't know if you ever considered doing something like that.
I actually did. I was thinking like I actually should record this what I'm doing at the moment because it's like immersion, the full progress like that it really works like right. So I was like thinking I actually should record myself, but then I'm also like, how can I do this? Like I cannot say, yeah, well, day one. Today I'm just listening to this and this. Do I understand something? No. But let's see. Day two. I don't know. I don't know how to deliver something to which is worth watching. So that's
So
why I.
do you, I can
I got the idea, but I cannot move it into a video like how I would design it, create it.
yeah.
Like I know what I want to put in, but I don't know how to.
Like what are you wanting to put into it then? Like
Yeah,
do you
right.
know or no? Like so like you have an idea of what you want it to look like, but it's like you can't make it look the way that you want from doing the way that you'd record it. Is that kind of how?
Yeah, I also tried. Maybe I'm also used. I also tried like, hey, this is what I eat in a day as a carnivore. And I filmed some stuff and was like, why would someone watch this? you know, I mean, like I'm only eating the same stuff every day, every meal, and I don't know how to make a whole video like 5, 6, 7, or even longer out of it. So I got ideas, I write them down,
Mhm.
but just leave them there. Why? Because I don't know. I also have another idea about some YouTube video, which includes a new channel again. So I have like, because I watched your anime stuff, yeah, like helper or something to help people.
Yeah.
And I was like thinking, how can I help some people? Because honestly, my life, if you look as someone outside of not someone outside of my life, it's someone normal, yeah, a regular person, you'd think, wow, this person has such a sad life or however, because I'm basically spending the last 8 years or something like that 59% of the time I'm at home. Yeah. Like 80% of the day I'm usually spend my time in bed, or or used to play games 24/7, like something like that. And I maybe came to speak social interaction, like person to person, like once a week, maybe even once a month. So, and how is it that this person is not totally depressed or something? You know what I mean? Like, how can, or me even going outside, I'm spending like 90% indoors. Like like last week, I went out to buy groceries on Monday. You know when I went out the next time?
Monday?
Today. like 8 days later. Like, what, dude? So, and yeah, I'm all my communicating
Yeah.
is what I do online right now. So basically, well, what is this? What kind of life is this? This is a Corona type life, right? So and now imagine this is a gamer life. Gamers live like that since forever. So when COVID hit, for us gamer, it was nothing new. Just like the mask, you know, that's the only difference which was new for us. But so, no, yeah. So my idea was like, how can I make a video which is kind of depressing from the outside, like the thumbnail and the title and stuff, but then like give some light for people who live such a sad life, you know, like how to see it in a positive way.
Do you consider
So
your life sad right now then?
no. No.
I'm like, it doesn't sound like it. Like it sounds like you enjoy what you do.
Nein, but if you take my life and if you think about it, like this person has no social interaction. This person spends like 80% indoors, is like, you know, goes outside once a week, like only to buy groceries, spends all day on their phone or playing games or something or whatever, and wasting time. Come on, I don't know if you can say that.
Is it really wasted
But
time?
I mean, I have my hobbies, right? But most of the people, you know, they are depressed, playing games all day, and they just go to bed, wake up, and do the same stuff every day. Every day, they're just a robot, an NPC, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and well, the only difference is that I have my learning, right? That I have my learning, and now where I'm doing YouTube, I also can have a way to express myself in yet another way, artistically, or what do you call it? Creative way. Yeah. So yeah, and when I before I wasn't doing YouTube, you said in one video, I think, or something, yeah, in one video on your main channel, you said you quitted gaming and watching anime because you wanted to change and doing improvement, and that is how you outperformed other people, yeah, right, by doing one thing at a time. So, and as I mentioned before, I was like a gamer. I got my first Game Boy when I was 7 years or 8 years ago, right? You know, when Tetris was a thing, and Pokemon, and I still had the latest Pokemon games. I played it. Yeah, well, that's how big this game, or how gaming has played a role in my life. And then at some point last year or this year, I said, nope, I need to stop this now. I don't know. I don't want. I think it would have. Yeah, when I turned 30, I guess I was like, yeah, no, I'm done with gaming, and I need to do something else. But then I sold my PlayStation and everything, and man, that was a hard time. I mean, not playing wasn't the problem. It was just, well, there's too much time now. What I'm going to do, right? So yeah, and when you watch, when you play all day, what are you going to do when you don't have to play? Well, I spend all my time on my phone scrolling through Amazon or I don't know, yeah, YouTube, and somehow spend some time and felt like shit afterwards every day, right? So, and yeah, at some point I figured, yeah, now it's time for YouTube. And YouTube I only can do because of Carnivore.
Yeah, because you have the energy to finally tie it back into that. And that's the crazy thing, dude, is because like as time comes on, it's just like, do I still want to play video games as much, or do I want to like live a different life? Because it's like Simon and I, we were talking about this the other day as well too, where it's just like at a certain point, like it's like I'd rather play the game of life instead of playing it like on a video game. Like sure, we don't get to go back and like restart if we fail, but we also do get to learn from our mistakes, kind of like we do in video games, which is super exciting. And yeah, dude, I think like the whole COVID thing and like being locked inside, like I've had days where I'll stay inside and I start to feel down, and that's why I'm like I gotta go outside. But for you, it's almost like you created something from that. Like you were able to learn languages, you were able to start and understand like your dietary needs and not play as many video games because it's tough, dude. Like if I just I didn't like where I saw myself going if I continued to play those video games. So like hearing how like you've also kind of taken that next step, it's incredible to say like the most. And I also was thinking too, like, hey, like the only accomplishment that you had was graduating from college and getting your degree. I'm like, dude, you're selling yourself short right there. Like you've accomplished lots of other things. Like sure, maybe you might not see it through to the way that you want to see it, but you're seeing it through to the way that you need to, so that you don't have to you get that perspective of like, okay, this isn't what I want to do anymore. And that's where I'm like, okay, this is incredible, because it's just like you have accomplished like YouTube channels, you're able to get sales on Amazon, like you've are living on your own, like you're able to walk to the grocery store like once a week, like when you have like all this autoimmune stuff. It's like there's a host of things that you have accomplished, but like in society's terms, you don't have anything like in paper or in forms to be able to be like, yeah, I did accomplish this type of thing.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Gaming. I don't know, there's a game which is called Stardew Valley. Do you know that? Have you heard of it?
I don't think so. What? No.
It's
Do you want to send me a link to it?
It's
if you have it
farming simulator. What do you call it?
If like it's farming.
Where you have a farm, you have to do like you have a farm, you plant stuff, you have to water it, you have to farm it, you have to sell stuff, you have to mine and stuff. And I love this game. It's one of the best game because it's made by one person only, and he sells for like $13, and he released it even now today. I think the game is like 8-9 years something old, and he still makes free content, free DLCs for the game. So, and yeah, anyway, I love playing this game, but at the same time, I felt sometimes, if I think about it, I felt really depressed when I played this game. You know why?
No.
Because it gave me such inspiration, like, oh, I want to go out and actually do this stuff I can do in the game, like fishing or going into the mine and discover something, like like stuff like that. That was like pretty cool. I get like every time I play some games, I get some energy out of it. Like, oh, I want to do stuff, but I was very sick at the time, and I couldn't do really stuff. And so yeah, it's kind of paradoxically, it's again. So yeah.
You enjoyed the game aspect. It's that type of game. If I'm thinking of it correctly, it's like you're planting your harvest to later like reap what you sow in the future type of thing. Because like there is terminology and like references to like the type of video games that we do play. Like I played a lot of Mario because I like the puzzle solving aspect and being able to explore new worlds and different places each and every single day. So it's kind of like the same thing with like a farming simulator. It's like, all right, let me plant the crops right now. Like we'll wait a day or an hour, a couple of days, whatever it may be, for those crops to grow. We'll come back, we'll harvest them, and then we'll do it again and again and again and again. So it's like doing the same thing in your everyday life is something that could be. It's probably what you do with your language learning. It's like you plant the crops so that then when you do come to a situation where you want to learn how to speak Spanish to somebody, or you want to speak German to them, or English, whatever it may be, it's like you're already prepared because you had already planted those seeds a while ago. Same thing with your diet too. It's like if your diet is this one way, it's like you've already planted that seed within yourself of like, okay, this is the thing that makes me healthier and have more energy, so I can live the life in the ways that I want to. And I've always found that interesting because it's just like, why not plant your seeds now? Like why plant the seeds? Why be It's kind of like the saying of like, why dig the well before you're thirsty, plant the food before you're hungry type of thing. So that then when you are ready, like you already have it type of thing. So it's like the whole old saying, like better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. So it's like having those skills and traits already acquired helps you out tenfold. And like I wish too, dude, like that I could stay inside like for 8 days a week sometimes, or like 8 days in a row. Like I think it'd be fantastic. For me personally, I have to go to the gym. Like I have to go out into nature. Like I just need to go move my body, because otherwise I go down this like spiral. Like you were talking about like the anime channel of how like I review those things too. And I like when I would sit at home and I binge watch say 12 episodes, I'd feel so bad afterwards. I'd be like it was great watching it. Like I absolutely loved it. But then at the end I was like, okay, yeah, all right.
Right. Yeah, that's how I feel every time when I usually when I watch something, it's not longer than 2 hours, right? So I can't understand like how people can binge watch a complete Netflix show or series in one day. Like I had one friend, like he was like, yeah, there's no new cooking show. He was like, yeah, you can watch it in one day. I'm like, what? One day, dude? What's going wrong here? So yeah, I don't know.
Because like how many hours would you typically play video games like in a day, like before you sold the PlayStation?
Yeah, well, look, the day has 24 hours.
Yeah.
Usually. But for gamers, the day can be up to 30 hours or longer. So back then, when I first moved into my own first flat here, I got internet, I got a PlayStation. I discovered online gaming. Ooh, boy, such a world. You don't have to go out to speak to people. Wow. And yeah, so I was playing like 24/7, like straight through, skipped sleeping all the time. And then over time, I reduced that time, of course. And I got bored of gaming. And because I got bored of gaming, I also started learning languages. Funny, right? Yeah. But the learning aspect itself, as you said, like with Mario, that you like to discover new words and like puzzles. I grew up playing and watching Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh, right? And Yu-Gi-Oh, I don't know how familiar.
Yeah, I love Yu-Gi-Oh. Played that game as well too. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, game, right?
And the TV show too.
Yeah, and when you play the games, you had a lot of like puzzles in some games. Like you had some cards, and you need to figure out like how to play it, like that you can beat the bot opponent, like how to kill. And you have like to do this like 20 times or something, like different riddles. And I think, and I also playing the game itself is some like crucial part of me, like being like how my thinking evolved, like I know in school at some time, I don't know what age, like 14 or something, yeah, something like that. My teachers and my class, we were playing a card game, and one teacher was watching me and was watching the other teacher. And every time the other teacher when she won something, she was like, "Oh yeah, nice, ooh, yeah." And every time when I made the right move or something, I just smiled at my coach. Now was really focused again on the game, and she was still, hey, I got something right and something. So, and she noticed us, and I think it's like, I often think like, how would my childhood be if I haven't played those games? Like, how would I be different if I have spent those time like reading books instead? Like not doing not getting in the strategy games like playing Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon. Like how would that what type of person would I be nowadays then? So, and I'm glad I grew up like playing Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh and watching all the stuff. And yeah, nothing more to add right now.
No, I thought there was a little, but no, dude. Like, yeah, it's interesting because it's just like, would you? I've looked back at certain aspects of my life too, and it's just like, oh well, what if I would have stopped watching TV earlier? Like, what if I wouldn't have watched as many? Because, dude, like TV and video games were like the big thing. It was primarily TV for me personally. Like, I would just binge watch shows or whatever it was for like solid days, and I'd just be that's all I would do in a given day. There was times when like I would play The Last of Us, and like I played that
How
game like
old were you then?
I was like 15, 16ish or so, like 17 or so. So like
Yeah, same. When I came back from school, I went to my grandparents and I watched and ate the whole day and watched TV, right? Like what was it? How I Met Your Mother and
great show.
Naruto and stuff, like what was on TV. So yeah, and yeah, keep going.
Yes, you're good. Yeah. So like I would just watch like all these shows and all these movies and everything like that. Like for the longest time, I was just like, well, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. Like when I got into college, like I was still doing the same thing, but I was like, it just didn't feel like it was part of me any longer. And I felt like there was more. And that's when I started to look at all these different videos and like found out about YouTube and how like people were playing video games. And I was watching people play video games online. Like I watched the Let's Play channel with like Rooster Teeth and everything like that.
Which
Yeah, and I absolutely love that. Like freshman year, and then I was watching like every Lord of the Rings movie. I was watching One Piece every single day, and like I wasn't leaving my dorm. And I was like, this is terrible. Like I just didn't feel fulfilled in any way, shape, or form. And I was driving back every other weekend to see my girlfriend at the time, a young 18-year-old in love, like finally getting laid for the first time. So I was like, okay, this is great. And I was driving 4 hours. She never came up and saw me once. And I just was like, I don't like this life anymore. And I started to change a little bit come sophomore year of college. And I started to like branch out a little bit and like kind of like talk with other people because I was like in a different community, but I was also smoking a lot of weed at the time, like tons and tons of weed, like way more than probably was necessary. And then junior year came around and I was living on my own and I was like, okay, like I want to change this up. I liked how like I was able to talk with people and like interact with people out in like the real world instead of just like watching TVs all day, and like it fulfilled my soul a lot more. So like I was like, I want to give something up. And that was when I stumbled upon like the whole like jump cut and like getting into like this whole different community of like self-growth and personal growth. And that's why when I heard you say like you were able to learn language at the age of 24, like you started learning English then, it gave me the thought. I was like, well, if you're able to learn English then, and like say you regret like what you did back then, like the video games and the shows that you watched, well, it's just like you don't have to continue living that life any longer. Like if you want to change it, like you have that power to start learning that new skill. And clearly like you are very well at learning new things. So it's a matter of like how badly do you want to learn this new thing, because like you filled up your time with language compared to playing video games. So it's like, do you want to fill up your time with something else? Like I want to fill up my time with books and education and podcasts compared to normal everyday TV.
Yeah, but you have to see like learning, as I said, it's like going to the gym. It's like 20%, it's like for you when you go into the gym, right? For language learning, it's like learning 10 to 5%. And what else you do on top, like immersion, like playing games all day long, is what made me so good in English, right? So it's a different matter, I would say. But I also spent, because I'm a language learner, I wanted to learn how to learn. So I dived deep into that topic itself and spent a lot of time and studied this topic. and now I know exactly how you can learn the most efficient or effective way. So I tried to learn programming, like coding, like a couple of years ago, like 4 years ago or 3 years ago, but it didn't go well because of my health. I had to stop. It was too exhausting, right? So, and yeah, I wanted to add now, but I cannot remember. But going back, you said something like discovering oneself, you know? If I look back, I always say now, getting sick was the best thing which happened to me, because I have had to isolate myself. I learned to know myself. Yeah, I spent so much time with myself. Every time I talk to someone who is normal, like who's such a normal person, when I tell them, well, I tell them like, this is how I think it is. If you need to spend time with yourself, then the person always agreed, because they cannot relate. They cannot. I don't think they can understand like how this is really affecting you if you spend more time with yourself, like really spending time with yourself, and not like, oh well, I had 3 hours today and I did nothing, and no, that's not what I mean. Like you have to really like go into a cave and spend time with yourself for months, a year or something, really learn yourself, like how you think and this kind of stuff. But because before you mentioned drugs, my group of circle, my friends, when I dropped out of trainee, when I booked my bakery trainee, what do you call it? Foundation, or what it's called? I don't know. Yeah, when I stopped this, that's what was the very first time when I got into like partying, like going disco and stuff like that. Yeah, and then at some points a friend was like, "Hey, I got this tiny thing here. Do you want to try?" So and then every day, every week, you was like popping pills and having fun each weekend, and this increased then maybe to one day was one weekend, and one weekend was then maybe 4 days instead of 2. And I did this for maybe 2 years on a long span, but not every week. And I stopped like for half a year, or maybe let's say a year or something in overall. But at some point I said, well, I moved out. I moved out from my parents, and what do you call couch surfing, right? On friends, by friends. And at some point I was like looking into my portemonnaie and was like, yeah, well, I have $25 now. It's all I have, and then I'm poor. And I was like, well, okay, what can I get? I can get 5 MDMA pills, and I can get 1 gram of something to snow, So yeah, and then I quit taking drugs, and that is what I did. I partied the weekend. I got my pills. I got my snow. Somehow I tried LSD as well, and that was the last experience I had with drugs. And the next day I said, no, I'm not gonna go and do that any longer. But I still continued to surround myself with the same people. I also went to still go on parties, but it wasn't the same, of course, And at some point I was like, no, I'm out. See you guys. It was nice. And yeah, but I think this shift, like from one day to the other, was like I'm gonna quit. I'm good at this. Like I say, okay, the same with gaming. Like today, I'm just stopped gaming. Bam, that's it. So it's the same with drugs. It's the same when I grew up, I always had one headphone in my head, in my ear, and was listening to music all the time. People always knew me with one piece in my ear to listen to music, and I think it was 26 when I turned 26 or something like that. I said like, well, it's time to change that, and I stopped doing that, and I went out and well, no more music. I get full immersed now when I go out.
Yeah, it's all the noises are the same. Like music does make us feel certain ways, but it's also just like the meaning that we put behind the music itself. Dude, it's I always love hearing people where it's just like one day it's just like I just quit cold turkey just like that. It's like I didn't like who I was anymore. But I did the same thing. Like you've done the same thing.
I didn't like I mean, with drugs, I had no money, so that I had no choice. But people offered me a lot of drugs. One was like, "Hey, I got all the free here, bag full of pills. Let's have the party, the party of our life." And I was like, "Nope, I'm out, dude." So that was not a problem for me. I don't know why. Yeah, I'm always this way. If I say no, then it's no, right?
That's how it should be. I mean, that's how I always have been. My friends have told me like, dude, we can't, like people have tried to get me to take shots or something like that. And if I say no, they're like, yeah, you're not going to convince him otherwise. And I'm like, yeah, no, like if I don't want to do it, it's not happening.
Yeah. And the drinking alcohol, where you mentioned shot, you mean alcohol, right?
Yeah. Shots.
Alcohol is also when I first started with partying with what I was 18 or something, or 17, close to 18, and drinking alcohol was part of my life for like 2 months, not longer. And there was like vodka energy or vodka something energy something blah blah blah. Auf jeden Fall, anyway, one evening I was like, oh, going to throw up. I was getting out of the disco, like right turn on the parking space. I moved into the bushes. There was a hill or something where you went up. So if I went a little bit farther, I were like somewhere down below the I don't know. I just sat down and had to gather myself and get a clear understanding. I was like, no more alcohol. That is terrible.
Because you have been out, like you used to go out a lot. It sounds like then. So that
No. I just when I turned when I was 17, 18, that's really the first time when I got into party life, you know, and I used to be around the same person all the time. Like when I had my 3 people in school who I talked to, other than my classmates, you know. And when I got out of school, I either spent like 90% with my girlfriend or like some friend, like one person always, you know. So, and that was enough for me. And then I discovered this party life. Like you learn like so many new people, right? And like I don't know, it's like a new world. Like you discover a new world, and it's like exciting, you know. You meet always new people and stuff, and then the drugs part, of course, also a big part of that. And it was fun, yeah. And I need to show you something. I used to be a YouTuber when 2010. I will show you a video later.
still a YouTuber
What
now
I did back then.
too. Like I mean, you know, I've made some funny videos back in the day as well too. Like it's just like
I mean, I can send you now if you
Yeah.
you can show it on the screen if you like. I will send you the link.
I'm happy to.
What's my name?
I was also thinking too. Yeah, I can take a little look at that if you have it up. And I was thinking too about how you were talking about how it's just like you don't know how to show yourself learning. Sam Sulek was the guy that came to mind for me, where it's just like you just do what you typically do on a normal day and just kind of like share that. Because like clearly whatever he's doing is working for him very well, and it's just much more genuine and authentic.
Who?
Sam Sulek here. I'll show you real quick. While you're doing that, and then let's do.
Let me grab something to drink.
Yeah, you're good. Let me make sure. There we go. This one. I'll do this. It's a little blurry, but I think we're good. Dibbo's a good dude. I always love conversations like this, dude. I love conversations like this. I'm talking to myself right now.
Yeah, I'm laughing because it's so dark in here, and it's only the one light which is pointing at my screen here.
I mean, I think
or
it
at
looks
myself.
good. Like, I'd say it looks good.
No, but I mean, if I go into my kitchen, everything is dark. The whole room is dark, and it's just this light in front of me. It looks kind of strange.
I like it. Yeah, I forgot. It's like 6 p.m. or what? It would be 7 for you right now or something like that.
20 minutes for 8.
Yeah, so we're getting close. But yeah, I don't know if you see. It's like Sam Sulek. He's on screen right now. This dude.
Sam, so yeah. I have watched the vidIQ video.
Yeah, and I'm like,
about him.
He's doing well for him, just doing like simple, like normal everyday stuff. So like, if you ever did want to do like learning for YouTube again, like, I feel like he's a prime example. And maybe he found the meta in a sense of like, hey, I'm gonna do this because maybe somebody else will like it as well too. And he's just doing it because he's just tracking his everyday activities. So that's what came to mind when you were talking about like
documentation.
Exactly. Document over create. Gary Vee talks about that a lot. So
yep, this is what I talked with Future.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you do shorts, then like do it in a documentation way.
Exactly.
I sent you the. You can show it on screen if you like.
Yeah. All right. Here, let me do this. Oh, hold on. I'll open it in YouTube to give you a view. And let's do share. And this was the video that you did a while ago, is what you're saying?
2010.
2010. Wait.
I was a fucking dancer.
Love it, dude. You're tall, man. Way taller than I expected.
188.
Meters? 188?
Yeah.
I don't even know how tall that is in inches.
6.2.
Okay, 6'2". That's what I was thinking. I was like, you look around 6 foot or so.
Yeah. And I'm skinny as fuck.
Why don't you do more music, like videos like this? Are you not this skinny anymore?
What do you mean?
Like, are you not as skinny as you are in that video?
No, I'm more skinny now.
Well, yeah, you were talking about only eating what, 600 calories or something. Well, 800 to 900 calories a day. At first, I mean,
yeah. No, not at this time.
okay.
I mean, when I think when I was 18, I weighted like, what is it, 120 pounds, or what do you call it, like 120, 130, like 60 kilograms. That was my main level, but was pretty low. Like, my average is like the recommended weight is like 130, 50, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I was always like 10, 20 below my recommended weight.
Your kilograms right now, what are you weighing in at then? Do you know?
I cannot tell you right now, but the last time I went on the scale, it told me that I'm too tall for my weight. It was about 100 pounds or something. It's really low, like dangerous low. Like my BMI was like, oh boy.
Yeah,
and I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, being 6 foot tall, it's hard for you guys, like, because I have a couple of friends that are 6 feet, and it's just like, for them to put on weight, they have to eat so much more than like me being 5'10". But you also have more luck with the ladies. I've come to find out, like, taller guys usually seem to do better with the women, and like, because they're like, I want somebody that's over 6 foot, and it's like, well, I'm not 6 foot, but I'm like, so that's the advantage of being 6 foot plus, but like it's hard for you to like get the calorie intake, especially if you're just doing like carnivore and ground beef and salt every single day, because like
And having the stomach stuff going on the right, yeah. But well, I don't know. Yeah. Look, when I was doing 2013, 2014, I was doing fitness the first time and I ate 24/7. I felt like, and I gained a lot of weight in like 3 months. I gained my up to 160 or something pounds.
Mhm.
And it was a pretty good weight. I looked pretty good. And then one day I got sick and I lost like everything I just gained because I talked to a friend and he was like, "Yeah, you just have to eat a little bit more than you can, and so you can easily gain some weight over time, right?" And I was like, "Okay, let's try this." And then one day I came home from work. I put on my noodles and my tomato sauce as usually, big portion, And then I was like looking into my fridge and was like, "Hey, there's still some nice pudding. Why not? I'm still I'm not hungry, but not satisfied. Satisfied. And well, smartest move I ever made. I just finished half the pot of pudding, and yeah, 3 hours later, I felt yeah. You can imagine. That was the best night of my life, and it took me and the week afterwards, I couldn't eat anything. I felt like poking all the time, and no one knew what was going on, and I lost all my weight, which I gained over 3 months. And I was like, now, wow, this is the best experience ever. And since this day, I was like, yeah, my life was going up, down, down, down. I mean, so yeah.
Dude, pudding, like I've eaten whole pints of ice cream before, like whole pints of ice cream, like all cookies.
Yeah,
Like,
pudding, like, yeah.
it's delicious.
After I had a big portion of noodles with tomato sauce, like, so I don't know how much calories that were, maybe 3,000 calories in one meal or something. I don't know.
You're not tracking
But,
your calories, right? Well, you are kind of tracking your calories. You're telling me you're at around 2,000 to 2,200, if I'm remembering correctly, right now for your calorie intake.
Yes, but it's easy to tell because I know what I eat, and if I eat 2 packets of meat, I know exactly how much calories it is. Back then I haven't measured any calories or stuff. No. That's too much work.
Yeah, I've never understood it. Like I need to start either eating more or weighing my calories, because like I've been doing lots
Yeah.
of running lately and like walking and like all this other stuff. So I'm just burning more calories than I need to. But it's also like I wanted to show like, hey, I was up at 180 and then I was able to get down to like 170, maybe even 160. But like when I look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, I'm a little thinner than I want to be. I like right within that 170 range, which is 31 kilograms ish, 32 kilograms. So like that's typically the weight that I end up enjoying being at. But it's like that calorie intake, and if I just had to eat ground beef every single day, I don't know how I'd be able to do that, because at a certain point I'd be like, okay, this is a little much. Which, like with the ground beef, do you ever like put them into patties, or is it always just ground up like taco meat type of thing?
Taco. I never had a taco. I don't know. Like I buy the not the fresh from the Metzgerie from the from the butcher when you get the butcher, it's like a small chunk, right?
Yeah.
I get the pre ones, which are for factory, like, pressed. So I just use the spoon, or what do you call it, like, and make it even smaller. Sometimes it tastes always different depending on how much salt you put on it, right? And then also how long do I cook it in the fat? Like, do I put the fat away right away? Like, let I burn it a little bit, like it's always a little bit different in the consistency and the taste. So it's not always the same. And yeah, but I don't know. I can eat this every meal. I mean, if you have a dog, your dog will eat the same every day. You know, like it doesn't care. I don't know. I see food now. Back then, I used to eat a lot of pudding back then, and like toast bread and nougat cream when I was 14, and all that crap. Chocolate and all that shit. And now for me, I'm eating because I give my body nutrients. Like I give my food, my body energy. I know what I'm, before people eat because of pleasure, because they like it, yeah, or because they are bored. I eat because I will fuel my body. This is how I see food. So when my mother, I cannot talk about food with her. When she talks about me, about my diet, she gets angry as fuck, dude. But because she said we are worried about you, that something will gonna happen. I mean, I tell her every time, every week. She is seeing my results, how I'm getting better. Like I see my parents like 3 times a year or something, yeah? So they see how I'm getting better and better, but I don't know if they notice, So
Yeah.
you know how parents are. They are old and they have a fixed mindset, right? So, and I think the next time what I'm going to tell her when the topic is going to come up again, I will tell her that I know why you're angry, because your belief system, what you are taught, what you experience all your life, is not in a straight line with what I'm doing, right? It makes no sense to her. Like she's told you have to eat more than one food. You have to eat a variety of food to be healthy. But our ancestor lived off meat like for millions of years, right? And then in 1800 something, some dude said, no, you have to eat this food, unless you want to die. Well, okay. And since then, people believe that shit, right? So yeah, you
Yeah.
have to eat that and that and that.
I've never because dude, that's yeah, that's one of the hardest things, because it's just like, well, why not just eat what I want to eat? Like, it's just like, if everybody says that you should do this or you should do that, but it's like, what do I need? What do you need? And like, go off of that route. And then like parents too, dude, they'll always like, yeah, it's always one of those things.
NPCs.
Exactly. Yeah. Like they see and they follow everything, where it's just like, we are the ones that are more paving the path, I would say.
Yeah, some very good examples. I told my mother, yeah, I'm doing YouTube now. What are you doing there? Well, I'm doing tech reviews. Why are you doing tech reviews? Are there not other people who are doing tech reviews already? Why do you have to do that? I'm like, why is there more supermarket than one?
It's a great reference,
Yeah.
like great comparison.
Yeah.
Because like,
I mean,
yeah,
what? Yeah.
like, why do you go to this supermarket compared to this supermarket? It's like, well, it's just like people are gonna want to watch me compared to somebody else because they show up for my reviews and my take type of thing. So that's
Right.
How'd she respond to that? Was she like, what do you mean? Like, I'm just curious to see what like her response was after you said that.
Yeah, I never came to that because we talked on the phone it was a long talk already.
Yeah,
and
that's
we only
fair.
talked about like, yeah, why are you doing this? There are other people already doing this. But later on, I was like, yeah, I mean, why is there Aldi? Why is there Lidl? Why is there Penny, like supermarket? Like, why is there not only Aldi? So it's the same. Like, but why would I? Yeah. Doesn't make sense. Like everyone is trying to sell something, right? Everyone wants to make a living
Yep.
or something. So yeah, I mean, but what it shows to me is like how limit her mindset is, her thinking, right? Like thinking like, what do you call it, like inside the box thinking, like, right, not thinking outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some people can yeah, well,
It's just not the generation they grew up in. Like for us, we were first introduced to the internet and this whole different way of being able to say make an income and make a living and because it's like you can either be a creator or you can be a consumer. And it's like I'd rather be a creator than a consumer any day of the week. So it's just like, and our parents, like until they see the proof, they're gonna be like, oh yeah, no, it's a hobby.
well, but I wouldn't say that is that it's a generation thing. I think it's more person thing, I would say, because last summer I went into the city and I had to pick up a package from the post office. Then I went outside and sat on a bank. Yeah, called there was one old guy next to me sitting. I called a taxi, Uber or something, or what do you call it? And when I hang off, I said something to the guy next to me. I said, "Yeah, well, I have to wait now." And then we got into a
Conversation.
language, English, conservation. Thank you.
I got you, man.
And this guy was close to 80, I guess, he said, if I remember correctly. And if you didn't know he was 80, I would guess he was like 30 or something from his spirit here. Like, you know, I have had such a great talk with him, and only 10 minutes or something, but his spirit, like how he in this age. So after I talked to him, I was like, wow, like when you see older people, they are always like so like weak and like depressed, sitting around all day and doing nothing. On what do you call the new, where do we put old people?
Like retirement home.
Yeah, right. When you see those type of people, because every time when I go into the city, there's like one of these homes like for older people, and you see them like doing nothing and playing cards, or like pretty depressing. And then I talked to this person, and he told me like, yeah, he was an chemist or something. He sold like drugs, on the counter. I mean, not so cool, but okay. But he also told me his biggest passion was like doing picture photography, like not on a professional level, but like as a hobbyist.
Hobbyist, yeah.
And he got like the highest reward someone can get in as someone who's doing this as a hobby. And we talked about other things, and I talked about my life a little bit, and said to him the same. Yeah, I haven't achieved anything really, and then we talked about like how you have to get the highest degree out in school nowadays to get really a job or something. And then he was like, well, you rather get a job than someone who is high educated. He means I personally, because the way I talk to him and how I speak to him, like he was like, because of my personality, or what, I don't know how I spoke to him. Like he felt like, okay, I would hire this guy, I would make him my employee. Like that was his thinking, I guess. So yeah, because it's how you can get around with people, like this mindset is what he had. So, and I was like, yeah, well, that's maybe true. Yeah, right. But as we talked before, people or corporation, they want to see something on the paper. If you don't have anything on the paper, they yeah, fuck off, dude. Who are you?
Well, that's
right.
It's the whole like, hey, you can't work until you have work experience type of thing. Oh, you can't do this until you do that. But it's like,
yeah, that's this. You graduate, you have the highest degree, but then you're trying to get a job and you need like 30 years of experience, right?
Exactly. It's like, okay, this doesn't work. And the whole mindset thing too is it's everybody thinks in their own unique individual way. So it's just like we can't change their perspective, but we can give them new ideas and hopefully help them think in a different way. Like being able to understand your perspective on like how you learn languages and how you diet and how like you played lots of video games, but you decided to transition over into learning. Like I think that's more of where it's like, okay, if we just talk about these things, it almost then can give other people like this perspective of like, oh, well, he was able to change or I was able to change. And like we can do things in a different way than how society has been telling us to, because it's like what works best for me is the thing that's going to be the best for me. And that's something that I've always found interesting, because it's just like, why be a sheep and follow along with the crowd when we can pave our own path and like do tech reviews or do podcasts or do YouTube and like create our own reality in the way that we want to. And I think Neville Goddard, he talked about that as well too. And Simon and I, we were talking about that the other day, where it's just like, if you can just create your own reality within your own head, it's almost like you're going to have that eventually later in your everyday life. It's just a matter of questioning old belief patterns and realizing that maybe everything that you know is incorrect or everything you do know is correct. And it's just like, just trying it is kind of the route that I like going. Cause yeah, dude, it's tough. It's very hard, especially when the people close to us don't understand what we're doing half the time. And it's just like, I'm going to give this a try and I'm going to do my best to make this happen. And it's a feeling of like solitude and loneliness that I myself don't like, I didn't want to go through, but it's also like being able to be inside, like how you were talking about, like being inside for 8 days in a row, or me like being out in nature and hiking and being in those tunnels. Like they're the things that we needed to have to be able to help us do the things that we're doing now. Like if we never would have done those things in the past, then we probably wouldn't have, well, not probably, we wouldn't have the skills that we have right now to be able to do the type of content, because what we do for a living, it is a very lonely life because not everybody will understand it. Not everybody will get it. And hearing how you were talking with like these old wise people in the retirement homes, dude, like that's it, because like they figured something out.
This guy was not from this home, and he was like someone else, like like I'm some random guy I met on the street. So, but I the example like him, and then seeing this other type of people like being this like, fuck, I don't want to end up like this when I'm 70, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you got this one example and like, wow, when I'm like this old, I want to be like this guy, right? So yeah.
Probably one of the best feelings, and that's like might as well, because like it's like with going to the gym, like I see older people, like I was lifting with a 67-year-old for quite a period of time. I was like, I want to be able to be moving the type of weight that he moves. Like he's second in the nation, he might even be in the world for bench press, like 367 pounds or something like that at age 67. And I'm like, that's incredible to be able to be doing that type of weight at that type of age. So I'm like, yeah, I want to be able to be that type of person. So it's like there's all these like societal norms of being like, okay, go live in the retirement, play your cards, do this at this age. But then it's like you run into the other people where it's like they're just happy living their life. They have that wisdom, and it's exciting to see.
Yeah, and there's also like there are some studies on this. If you take someone out of this environment, like retirement home, yeah, and put them in like into a group of young people who play basketball every day, the person grows more happy and starts to become healthier again, and also wants to play with the boys, like basketball and stuff. So it's also the surrounding you get. It's the same if you like say you're sick and you're in the hospital and you're going to die or something. Like the people around you, they know you're going to die. They assume this. They behave like that. You already dead,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I think it was also here Joe Dispenza's book. I think in some book I read it anyway. You have to ask Simon. I think he can tell you something about this.
It probably is Doctor. If it's the guy whose Simon studies are, Doctor
Dispenza. Yeah. I think he mentioned in the book like a lot of examples. Like if you put someone in a hospital, and the surrounding is like what you made like, and what was Alan Watts?
Yeah, Alan Watts.
The
philosopher.
Yeah, he used to say like, if someone is close to die, we should actually celebrate this, because this person, I mean, he's gonna die. Well, you're gonna lose a loved one or something. But this person, I mean, it's a cycle of life, right? There's no birth and death, the birth without death, light without shadow, right? So, and this person makes space for someone new to be born and stuff. Like I can't remember how he exactly put it, but like, yeah, it's not bad to die, you
No.
know. I mean, if you die, the best thing is dying every day. Yeah, you know the saying, right? When you go to bed and you wake up as a new person. Like, so yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I think death is an inevitable part of living. And some people there's a saying, I think it's by Naval, where it's like, I can't remember what it is, but there's a saying where it's just like, man dies twice, like once when he figures out who he is, and then like the second time is like when he starts living his life or something like that. I can't remember the exact quote off the top.
a man has two lives. One life ends or begins when he figures out that he only has one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that quote, it kind of came to mind because like I've known people where they don't die every single day, and it's because like they keep the same ideologies, the same beliefs, and I do believe that we should have like obviously a solid baseline and be able to change and mold with like time, kind of like how trees grow. Like sometimes they'll grow in a right way or like a left way to be able to reach more towards the sun, but like they're still growing, but like they're changing every single day when they do grow. So yeah, dude, death is never like, death is just part of life. So we might as well enjoy it. I was talking to Simon about this in the last episodes that we did, where it's just like I was seeing skeletons around everywhere. And I don't know if you've ever noticed those or anything like that.
Memento mori.
Right? Little Marcus Aurelius right there. Yeah, dude, the whole like, why not live the life that you want to live, and then when you die, like at least you can be like, okay, I was happy. Like if I passed away tomorrow, I know that won't happen, but like say I did, like would I be happy with what I did over these past couple of months when I'm trying to go all in on YouTube and I'm doing my best to have conversations and podcasts? It's like I'd rather do that. And I've talked with countless people where they aren't happy with the life that they're living because they're making good money, or they're in like a role where it's just like, I can't leave because I'm important here. But it's like, are you happy doing what you're doing? And it's like, maybe not. Like a prime example, I was talking with this guy last night at yoga, and he's like, I wish I could do interior design, like do that every
yoga course.
Yeah, yoga.
You cool, nice.
Yeah, we can always get into that. I love yoga practice. I love it. It's so much fun. The guy that I was talking to, he was telling me, he's like, yeah, I wish that I could like do interior design. I was like, well, why don't you? He's like, well, I'm in a very good position at my company right now. I'm working well. Like I have good money coming in. I'm like, okay, but are you happy?
Security.
Yep.
Yeah, security. Isn't it? Yeah, security, right?
Yeah, security. That's just the older generation. Like that's just how they view things. And I'm just like, why not try something a little bit different? Do something that makes you happy. But it's like, I've been doing this for 40 years. It's like, okay, and like, so
you can still change.
Exactly.
I don't know. Do you know? I don't remember his name. It's such a. Well, his parents came to the US as immigrants. Yeah, They did everything to move there back then, and now up in their 50s or something, they decided to quit everything there and moved back or moved to Portugal or something, like start a completely new life. And his father recorded this and documented like the whole path, like the thinking and like how much you have to let go of all the stuff you gathered over your lifetime. And they sold their house, property and stuff, and like had left like everything they had behind, kinda, and started a completely new life, like at 50. Like not many would do that, like 1% maybe, right? So yeah, incredible. But speaking of money, I have a question. I want to ask you, like,
yeah,
you mentioned like you quitted your job, right? Like how are you able to maintain, how how many how are you rich? Kinda? Did you work too much before? Did you earn like 1 million or something? Now you have like an income of nothing. Or how do you manage that at the moment? Like,
Yeah, so I have always been very studious and very responsible with my money. Like I would always
yeah,
save 10-20% each and every single month or something like that, and I do very well. And then I was doing sales prior to this, and I was able to make, I think, around $40,000. I don't know what that would be in euros in like a 3-month time frame from doing sales.
it's kind of around the same.
Yeah, so I was like, if I had saved up that much money, and now that I acquired the skill of knowing how to,
A month or year?
in
Yeah.
3 months, I made like 40 grand. So
Wow.
yeah, it's like I made, because
Savings only.
no, so that was just like my income for like a 3-month time frame. Like,
Okay.
yeah, no savings,
Okay. Yeah.
savings. No, like I mean, total. So like I looked at it more and like I could spend this money that I used, like that I had been saving up to go buy a house or something like that. But I was like, if I buy a house, I'm
Yeah.
like, I'd rather buy my freedom and try this and go all in on this. And plus, now that I have like the skills that I know how to sell, then I'm just like, well, I'm going to start doing like reaching out to people in their DMs and like on Instagram and TikTok and everything along those lines to offer my service as coaching. So like then starts charging like $150 an hour per coaching each month, or each session per like 50-minute session. So it's just like I've studied a lot of like business marketing, sales, strategy, psychology, personal growth and development to help me get to this place. But yeah, I just saved up enough money to where like I could just go into my savings, and if I needed to go back in 6 months or so,
And what were you doing exactly? What sales like
uh,
when you earned money?
I was doing software sales. So I was helping I was getting vendors off of ACH. So like a vendor is somebody that is doing a service for somebody else. So like a vendor could be like somebody hires them to build a building and furnish it. That would be a vendor. And I was getting the people that were paying those vendors, the people, off of checks onto ACH payments. And I
Mm-hmm.
was selling the Surface SaaS. I was selling software as a service to the vendors to get them more automated. And I was making 100 to probably 150 calls a day, every single day.
Kind of the middleman.
Correct. Yeah. We worked with like
Okay.
banks to help them like combine like
Yeah.
the ACH payments from checks. So I did that for 2
Okay.
years. And then I was like at the
So
end of,
you went also what university or something? You studied or got a degree in something or only?
yeah, got a degree in mass communications in graduated back in 17. So I completed college in 3.5 years, and then just learned how to do video editing and videography. That's how I had like the expertise with Premiere and After Effects that we were saying at the beginning.
And dev, like how much did it cost you? Are you
No,
off
so
that?
yeah, no debt. My parents paid for it. I'm grateful for them
Ah,
for
okay.
doing that. So I didn't have any debt coming out of college. I was always told like how you're
Were
like,
you, are your parents like, which what do you social rank or what do you call it? Like, are they also high, do they have good jobs, like high paid jobs? Like, were they also in college before or university or stuff like that?
yeah. So my mom, she got a master's degree, and then my dad, he wasn't great at school. Like he C's and D's type of thing, but like he made it through school, got his bachelor's degree in I think 5 years or something like that. He's a
Okay.
business owner, owns his own liquor store, and then my mom has a speech pathology master's. So like she does like coaching and like speech development for kids that are like
Hmm.
3 and younger, and like goes and works with the schools. So like I've just grown up seeing like going out and like creating your own income and like being an entrepreneur and starting your own like thing compared to like
Right.
working for
It
somebody
makes an
else.
impact on yourself. Yeah, right. Yeah, okay. That's interesting. Yeah, yeah. Okay. No, yeah, well, and if you like how much saving do you have, like for how many months could you do this until it would until you would have to look for a job if YouTube doesn't make you money, let's say.
Yeah, so I could go a full year, which I know I won't have to because like I'm just gonna start doing
4 or 1?
1 year. So like I can go 1 year
One
unless I
year.
move out of my apartment and move somewhere else. Then I could go for 2 years. Which that's an option that I've been tossing around in my head. I just like
It's
the
expensive.
so like you want to take a guess at how much my apartment is?
I don't. It looks. What I see now, it looks. I don't know. Maybe you get twice of this the amount. The space. I, expensive, I guess.
Yeah, so I
I
spend
cannot say.
$2,000 a month on rent right now, and then
Yeah. I thought
spend
so.
about 1,000-ish or so, like in just other normal expenses per month. That's around $3,000 to $3,500 ish per month. So I budgeted that out to be able to be like, okay, I can go this long for this extended period of time. It's just now that I know how to sell and I have a service that I can provide to people, like all I have to do is just start reaching out and being like, hey, do you know anybody? Do you know anybody that's interested in this, until like YouTube does pick up? And that's why like doing content such as this is a good way to kind of like, one, build awareness, and then have different conversations with different people. And then like eventually I can get to the point to where I can start paying, having like, right now I'm charging people at a, like, it's a discounted rate of like 80% off of my service right now. So it's just $100 an hour, and then people can check it out. Or like we have conversations like this where it's just more open forum, and there's no fee or anything like that, because it's just like we're just having a conversation type of thing. But it is just a matter of me going and just asking for the service, because I don't know how you plan on like creating income for yourself. But for me, it's just like I'll just pick up the phone and start making dials, call businesses, and be like, hey, if I reach out to 100 people every single day, that's 3,000 people per month, and I should be able to close at least. If I can't close 10 people out of 3,000, clearly I'm not as good as a salesman as I thought I was, which I know that I'm not. So I know that that won't ever happen. And if I just get 10 people paying me $1,000, $100, or whatever it is, then at least I can be making a base income of 10K per month, or even just 1,000, like $2,000 to $3,000 per month, by having an outreach. So I have strategies and I have tactics to make sure that I don't have to leave. I've just been enjoying the aspect of like kind of mixing things up. And that's why, like, after you and I are done, I have a call with a one of those ads. Like, I don't know if you see the ads like for coaches and consultants online, but I have like an introductory call for them with one of them in the next like 10 minutes or so. So I was going to go talk with them and see what they have to do, because I like listening to like their pitches and their strategies, because then when I see how they do it, it's the same. I can start to apply the same strategy and tactics to my selling, which that's why, like, when we were talking about video games earlier, it's just like when we watch somebody else and we understand the game, it's a lot easier for us to beat the game. So if we understand the game of like YouTube, or we understand the game of business, marketing, sales, it's a whole lot easier to play that game and just make it an infinite game instead of a finite game type of thing. So, yeah.
Yeah, when I was I told you I was going to. My first initial idea was doing coaching as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, you asked me about it, and I reached out to coach it myself. I acted like I'm someone who wants to lose weight, and I asked them like how many do you charge, like, and like I'm someone who's interested in their service,
Mhm.
just to get to know like what would they charge and like how would they operate, so I took that as a learning lesson.
Exactly. Because it's the whole like they give away like free services. So like it's a free, like, so like how I do my coaching business right now, it's primarily structured around like I do the first call for free. So like it's like I'll do one free 15-minute session with you if you want to keep working with me afterwards, and like we can. It's like giving a free sample. Like, say you go to the store, you go to Costco. I don't know if they have Costco out there, but like if you go to like the supermarket, they might be handing out like bacon or cheese or something like that, and then like you might end up buying like the whole bag. So it's the same concept, just in a different medium. And that's why like YouTube is like it's a thing that I primarily want to do and have my source of income come off of YouTube. It's just I also like talking with people and helping them reach their goals and overcome like things that they have within their own psyche type of thing. And that's why it's like it's all comes down to your mindset and understanding like where your self-limiting beliefs are of like, oh, I'm only worth this much per month, or I'm only worth this much per hour. And like those are just like massive things that I've put a lot of thought into. And if we're able to shift our thinking, then, as you know from like Neville Goddard, and probably talking with Simon as well too, is like as you change the way that you think, everything else around you will start to change as well too. So like why set barriers within your own psyche? Obviously give yourself a floor, but like have glass ceilings so you can just like go all the way up to the moon as high as you want to go type of thing. And that's just surface level. Like I can always go into that a lot deeper, but like I just don't have enough time right now.
We can for hours. We can.
Yeah, dude, it's exciting, and I love it, because I know your primary focus is like growing on YouTube, and like that's your main objective right now, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, let me show you something. I talked yesterday to Future, to Abe,
Mhm.
and we talked a lot about of YouTube analytics,
Yeah.
right? And I was kind of surprised, but I never paid much attention to. I kind of do, but not. Where are the stats? Let me see my videos. Analytics. My PC, my PC is in English, but my YouTube is in German. It's funny. I don't know why. Okay, let me change to.
How much did your
I have
make?
to send. I have to show you. I have to send you a screenshot.
Perfect. I look at that.
Save it. Save it. Where's our shit?
Let me know when you send it. Got it.
There you got it.
I'm gonna share this if you don't.
90 days.
That's good, dude. It's really good.
90 days. Almost 12K views. 600 watch time. And plus 25 subscribers. And this in 3 months.
Yeah, so 3 months, 25, 600. Like that's really good, dude. Because yeah, you have a much more of an upward trajectory, like compared to like if I'll show you my analytics as well. I don't know if I have.
Yeah, but now it's going down because my views going down. My overall views.
Are they though?
I don't know. It's strange. Yeah, now at the moment, it's if I look at my weekly score, then it's going down. So my performance, my overall performance. I don't know. Like you add more videos and the overall watch time or the views is still the same kinda. The strange thing is really that I don't know. My videos maybe they take off at the beginning, like get like 100 views,
Mhm.
like, and then they stop. And then all by a sudden, like 2 months or not 2 months, but let's say 3 weeks later, bam, something happened like Black Friday, and people search for phones, right? So and then all of a sudden, like YouTube, figured out, hey, this video is now perfectly suited for this person. So this is strange also. So it's strange. I made a video on Black Friday, which is like the best deals on Black Friday.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's the title. Like it says that this video still gets weeks afterwards, 2 weeks later. What is it now? Still, yeah, it still gets impression, gets views. Why would someone watch this? Like the title is Best Black Friday sales. Like why would? I don't understand this. It's strange.
Like
And yeah.
that's the part of like I mean that's why I like YouTube so much, because like with the content that I do, so like my most popular video that I have on the anime channel, like it has been I gotta go in like 3 minutes, so like I'll show you this real quick. So like I mean the most popular video that I've had on my YouTube channel, it didn't start getting views until, so if we go in the analytics, so like I mean it took almost a year for me to get the views on it.
Wow.
So like it was just a steady glow, like every couple, like obviously the first day, like it maybe not obviously, but like the first day it did pretty well, like 18,000. I just didn't think anything of it. And it just
But the first day, did you had how long did you do this already? Like how much reach did you had then?
so this was back because this was, dude, I didn't even have 1,000 subs. I think I had like 500, 600 subs or something like that.
But you already had some people who would
I had
of course watch it.
so like if we go into engagement audience, actually, so if you look at the audience, so like I mean at the very beginning, so like I only had 15 people that came back and decided to rewatch that video, and then new viewers was 829, and then I had 10 other that were originally within my
That
community.
is crazy.
So like, and it just kept staying there, like 1, 2, like nothing big, nothing big, and then just picked up. Like it just got all these new viewers, like had 800 in 1,200 viewers in one day, and it just like continued to grow from there, and then it kind of dipped off.
Yeah.
So like it's not so much about like looking at like how many viewers you have, it's just more like the idea and the concept. And like this video that I'm talking about right now, like sure it's called like Denji touches boobs, but it's not about like him touching boobs, it's about like the feeling that you have.
Yeah, I watched this one.
Yeah. So like it got that big peak and it grew, and then it kind of like dipped off a little bit. So that's why I like YouTube, is because like we never know when the video is gonna go quote unquote viral or get the views that we want it to. I'd rather just have something.
Yeah, but I mean, you cannot compare my content and yours, because I have like, I don't know. I did one video on tablets, right? A comparison, and I checked just recently the stats, and it's my best performing video. Although it doesn't, it only has 700, 800 views, right? And my best ones have like 3,000, 4,000 close. And I don't know, but it's steady, and there's also not much traffic, like 6 likes and some comments. But it's strange. It's the best performance video on my, like the retention rate, like watch time and stuff. So I don't know.
I'd also not say like it's like imagine like 6 people came in and were like, hey, they all give you a high five, or they all gave you a hug, or they all like acknowledge that like this is a good video. Like it
Yeah, right.
Shift.
Right. I have like every time someone is saying in the comments like, thank you for your video.
Mm-hmm.
I take that personally, right? Yeah. I made someone give someone valuable information, right? So you have to go, right?
Yeah, I gotta go, right. I had like 3 minutes, but that was perfect, dude. If you want to do another one, like if you want to chat again, we can always do Tuesdays. I don't
Every
know
time.
if days work best for you, but like we'll figure out.
When? Tuesday?
I mean, if Tuesday, because it's Tuesday for you still, right? Or is it Wednesday night? I don't know. Or Monday night? Is it Monday night? I don't know what day it is for you. If you're behind or ahead.
Second day of the week.
Okay, so Tuesday. Yeah, so we can plan on something like that and do another one, and I'll send you like the audio.
Yeah, I'm rather not planning. I'm more
spontaneous. I'm the same way, so
yeah.
that's perfect. And I'll link all of your channels down below in the description as well too. So like if you want to ping those over to me, I can just add those in, so people that do make it to the end of our discussion, then they can check you out and check out all of your stuff. And I'll even do that for our little intro.
Yeah, you can share the English, my leeway. The German channel, you don't need to.
Yeah, I got both for you, man. It's no big deal.
Yeah, okay, well.
Awesome, brother. It was good chatting with you. I'll chat with you again sometime soon.
See you next time.
Later.
See ya.
I appreciate you making it to the end of the episode. And to make sure that I know that you did make it to the end of the episode, comment down below, I made it. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Otherwise, follow us, press subscribe, and we'll chat soon.